Girls, get out of the truck. Roll toilet paper and blue. Oh God, this is bad.
Been loving the new truck, but maybe I should have test drove it before I bought it. I think she's got a seeping head gasket. It's drinking water. It's drinking water, but I don't know what to do. Kind of stressing because I love it. I mean, I knew it's too good to be true. I knew it was way too good to be true. For me to get a hold of something like this, it's got to be riddled with trouble. Not to fail, I called up a friend, a good man that knows his stuff, and he said, I can squeeze you in. So let's head down and check with him. As I've been driving this truck and putting tools in and stuff like that, I'm falling in love with it. This camper shell, I'm telling you, it's a good idea. Dorky looking. I asked Mom if she's gonna take it to practice, and she said, it would take the kids to practice in it, you know? She said, no. But it's her loss. All the kids could go in the back. I'd love to haul kids back there and run over jumps and bumps and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm hoping Eddie, where we're heading to is down to Boosted Metal Mafia, and Eddie is going to try to do his expertise of this thing and see if he can whip it into shape. We think maybe head gasket, I don't know. We'll check in and see. Out here with Logger Wade's new truck, and this thing, it's a nice truck, but it's got some issues. We're losing coolant somewhere, and he brought it down here to Boosted Metal Mafia, and this is Austin's Metal Mafia. Boosted Metal Mafia is our YouTube channel. It's a good looking truck. We'll get these issues figured out. Nice bed on it. I really like it. That's for sure. We got to figure out why we're losing coolant. So we're going to get into it and see what we can figure out. Hopefully we're not yanking the heads of it off. Let's see what we got. All right, we're back here on Logger Wade's truck here. We pressurized this thing to 15 psi, and the engine is at operating temperature right now. So this cap is 15 psi here. We got our snap-on tester on here, and we can see that we're actually dropping from 15 already, and it's only been about 5 minutes. So we definitely got a coolant leak. We knew we had a coolant leak, and we still got something going on here. So we're going to leave this on here. We'll start the truck up and see if it drops any faster. But I'm thinking we probably got a EGR cooler that's probably broken, we hope. So anyways, I went down the road. Dan had to take me to the house real quick to get my truck. By the time I got to my house, Eddie done called, and he done well, I was stumped on it. It took him 5 minutes, whatever. we pressurized this dude up to 15 psi, and we've already dropped to here, and we should have coolant in the floor right now. It's getting there. We got a puddle. Yep. So we got a bad water pump. And I'll take water pump over head gaskets any day. Oh yeah, me too. He said me too. I don't mind doing the work, but that's a job. So see, now Eddie down here at Boosted Metal Mafia, he usually makes good decisions. Now me, when I went and bought this truck, I spent a solid 15 minutes looking for it.
And then when I found the one I liked, I called the guy on the phone, and he sounded good, so I trusted him. And I said, go drive it and see what it drives.
But it's a nice truck.
Come back, and he said it drives fine. I said, we'll take it. So I went and took him a check the next day, and I bought the sunbuck before I even drove it. I'm gonna shut this. I got this on here so he don't hit me.
Getting ready to start surgery on Wade, Logger Wade's new service truck here. First, we got to get the raccoon here out of the way. He's got this, well, it looks like a raccoon. It looks like maybe a Daniel Boone or Boone and Crockett raccoon fur for a noise filter on top of his camera. And it's hilarious. Sometimes you can pet it, but it's cool. Anyway, we got the new water pump in and drain pan, all the stuff we're going to need, hopefully, to do this job. Set up, ready to go. But first thing we got to do is get the coolant drained out of this guy. So to drain this coolant, you can take that little pitcock loose on the bottom. Remember, you're playing with fire on that one. So I'm going to pop the bottom hose off, which is all the way up underneath here, and drain this out. Just because I don't want to have to replace the radiator when the little drain cock thing won't go back into place, or the O-ring or the plastic breaks, you know what I mean. So we're going to dive into this, get the coolant drained, get all this stuff here out of the way to get way down in there. So this should be a good day at work. We're going to keep the camera rolling because this might be a whole lot of fun when we break this hose loose. This thing has a little retainer clip that you pull out. Where's the hose at? Alright, we're going to get this out the way. Good thing that's already broke. Probably should be wearing safety glasses. Okay. Don't need that. Not on this any. Alright. We're gonna get over here. That's a little retainer we had to pull off. Yeah. Get your crunches in for the morning. And we got a hose up in here. Yeah. Now we got to reach that somehow. Oh yeah. Oh, most of it's going in the pan. A little bit of splashing. We're going to evacuate. All right. There we go. Didn't get too much on us. A little bit on the camera. Sorry, Wade. We got the coolant draining. As you seen, we had a really nice time getting that splashed all over the place. Looks like we're going to take this shroud off. Upper coolant hose. And a couple other things up here. Get down to the water pump. Throw this on time lapse and take you guys along for the ride. So you can see down inside there, we got to unplug that plug there. There's 2 more bolts to take out of this guy. There we go. And then unscrew the fan. and we should be really close to getting where we can actually see the water pump. We had a customer stop by, come back in, forgot to start the camera, so we lost a little bit of footage, but we're getting much closer. Getting ready to take a lunch break. We got the belt off the front of the motor, got the fan off. We have to break the harmonic balancer loose and take that guy off of there and finish taking this water pump standpipe off. It's got 2 bolts here, a little hose right here, and it should be just an O-ring up on this side right there. So we'll have to break the inspection plate loose on the bottom of the transmission, put a pry bar in there to hold it, and I believe that's a 36mm nut down here to get that off. So that it's like 278 foot-pounds if I ain't mistaken. So that's going to be a good time getting that off, but I think we can get it off. Big pry bar on the transmission, and then a really big cheater pipe up here. But we're going to go to lunch and we'll be back. Harmonic balancer bolt broke loose. Our snap-on breaker bar here lost the fight. We're going to go to a little bit different setup here, 3/4 inch drive, and try it again. So we're going to, and hopefully we don't break this adapter off. I think our pry bar came out from our transmission. It did. Your pipe ready to go. Watch the hood. All right, better luck this time. Better get well, that didn't last long. That's number 2. Broke off here. Well, we're out of adapters. I do have a wrench here that we can use. Maybe put something on that to try and pull that. We ain't gonna break that wrench. If we can just get something to grab a hold of that, this guy here. We need this to be a lot longer because we're breaking stuff all the way at the hood. So, hang on. This may be somewhat dangerous here, but we're going to try this. Yeah, it's not really the right kind of leverage we want, I don't believe. That's the sound we're looking for. Grab another grip here. See if that sound was something getting ready to snap off, or we're doing good. Oh, it's moving. I think we got it. I said, I think that's supposed to be 278 foot-pounds. Go the right way. Oh, yeah. Well, Wade, that bolt's finally loose. Man, what a fight. That wasn't much fun, YouTube. Snap-on's gonna be happy with us. We'll get this pulled off of here. We gotta get these bolts out here. And a couple bolts over on the other side. We should be able to get closer to getting this water pump off finally. Bolts out. That should slide off. It did. All right, we finally got the water pump completely off. Getting everything cleaned up, getting ready to go back together with it. This is our new water pump. We're missing one O-ring that goes right here. So we're gonna have to get that, which we should have one, and put this thing back together. It's been a fight, that's for sure, without a doubt. We got the new water pump back on. YouTube says that you have to pull the inner fender well out to get these two bolts out on the back side of here. If you take your time and have some patience, you can take a 13mm box end wrench without bending it. You can leave it the exact same way it was in the factory. I used a Craftsman, and I was able to get these out from the front without pulling the fender, without going underneath. Second thing we had an issue with is the this hose right here. It actually had a small place in it that had like a tear. It wasn't leaking, but it didn't look good either. So we went to town, we got a long hose, we cut this off of a pre-bent hose. This hose material is thicker, so we weren't able to use the factory squeeze clamps, spring clamps. So we actually had to find one that would fit up in there. You can see that was quite the job to get that to this clamp right here. We finally got it. It's in there. We're ready to put our standpipe back on, put our O-ring in here, and connect all this up, and we'll be ready to refill the coolant and pressure test everything before we go any farther. We have a problem. Somehow, some way, we ended up with a hole in the radiator. So we're gonna have to find one of these. It's time to get back after Wade's truck here. We got the water pump in and put back on, accessory drive pulley back on. We're going to throw the balancer on it, get that torqued down, and then the fan clutch assembly. And we're waiting on the radiator. It should be here this afternoon. So we're going to dive back into it again and get it ready to put the radiator back in, or we'll yank this one out and get the new one, stumbling all over myself here. Getting the new one ready to put back in this truck. We got some stuff to do before the radiator gets here. Ooh-wee. Man, you have really got to put some stink on that bolt down there to get to 278 foot-pounds. We finally got it, but man, we had to eat the Wheaties this morning because that was the first thing we needed to do. And I'm glad we got that out of the way because that was a good one. We're going to try and wrestle this radiator out of here. We got everything disconnected. We got the fan back in. That way we don't risk damaging our new radiator. If we can get this thing to slide up and out, I think it's going to go really well. The problem is getting it to come out of here. So hopefully we can try and pull it up and out without much of a fight. The problem is we're at the height where we really can't get a really good pull on everything. Got it up this high. We got it almost out. We got a waterfall, but we're hitting our pan. Oh, we lost. We're losing ground. Okay, we'll get that thing to sit right there. We need another hand. Here's what we need. It'd be fantastic. Because what we're hanging on is our air conditioning line here. let that drain for a second. Alrighty, one more try. Alright, we're on the upside of that. And we're out. Yeah, good times. Okay, let's try and pinpoint what we have going on. Somewhere right there, if you can see that, somehow we got a dent. Probably taking out something in the front of there, we assume, because we believe the water pump, it's hard to say, but it was leaking in the drain pan area, and we put the new water pump on. We pressure tested it, we found that. So if we get our new radiator squeezed down inside there, it's brand new here in the box. We'll get it out, match it up side by side before we drop it down in there. Very carefully, of course. Got some rubber mounts to put on. Alrighty, we'll be right back with you. We got the new radiator out of the box. Got all the brackets switched over, which there really wasn't much. This is an XDP, extra cool. I think the biggest thing that's extra cool about it is it don't have a hole in the radiator, so that's going to make it much easier, right? So we're going to get this thing slid down in there very, very carefully and get her bolted up. So let's try not to damage this one, because we'll be out of business if we do. Most importantly, proceed carefully. Okay. Got a good hold on it. All right, we're almost there. Besides, this little rubber piece here is rolled up in our way, but that's keeping us off the sharpened stuff that causes us to poke holes and stuff. So we're going to leave that there. We'll move our stand over here and see if we can get this. Whoa! Okay, we are almost in there. We are there. We got a couple bolts started. Can't flop around. Get it moved into place. That one's right where it needs to be. All right. Well, I think that's a win. Besides getting this rubber piece back up here where it needs to be, and that shouldn't be a big problem. Okay. Now, there we go. Yeah, we got to get some stuff moved around underneath the bottom side, but other than that, it's sitting in there where it's supposed to be at. And we have 0 scarring, so I'm going to call that a win. Well, we finally got all the leaks fixed. Got it under a pressure test. It's been holding perfect. Think we're finally ready to call Auger Wade and say, hey man, your truck's done. It's ready to go. So we're going to shut this hood. Once we put a radiator cap on and get this thing out of the shop, and it's on to being in full line of service without any leaks. Enjoyed every minute of this job, no matter what I might have said under my breath.
Man, I want to tell you, Eddie, I appreciate the heck out of it, buddy. It is hard. Those of you, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's hard for me to ask for a favor out of somebody. It's hard for me to ask somebody for help. I mean, it makes me feel vulnerable. And to turn it over and it's somebody like you to do it and to make it and do it right and get it back. And I hope you know how much this truck means to me. I mean, this is going to be my home for 10, 15 years, you know, and this thing is a big deal to me, and for you to do that for me, and to see, I'm going to edit this to see the struggles you went through for it, man, it makes it feel even more special to me. Thanks a lot, Eddie Austin. Those of you that's on here that's looking for something to watch, go over to Eddie Austin and watch his videos there. He was Boosted Metal Mafia, but he's going to just change his name. He's going into different business ventures also, so he's going to change his name to Eddie Austin. But go over there and check him out. He is an A1 guy, and he's no dummy. If you go over there, please don't waste his time. Thanks, Eddie. Have a good one, buddy, later on.
Raccoon stuff on the top of it.
I know, ain't it pretty?
It is.
I've had it. When I get real friendly, doing some FaceTime stuff.
What in the world?
Yeah. It started out with one of Dirt Perfect's little things, and I had this, was supposed to be part of a mic.
Yeah.
And it ended up decapitated. Yeah.
It looks like a raccoon hat.
Yeah, it looks like Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett was in the YouTube making. You know.